Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final webinar in our Fall 2025 webinar series all about modern literacy. Today is Digital Hygge, Creating Cozy Online Habits, which seems kind of perfect for the snowy weather. That was a very polite snow that we got today, at least polite if you're in DC. My name is Megan Kowalski. I am the Outreach and Reference Librarian, and I will be handling the logistics and back end for today's event. So if you have any questions as we go, please don't hesitate to drop them in the chat. But I'm going to hand things off to my colleague, Trisha Clark, who is presenting the session. So take it away, Trisha.
All right, thank you very much, Megan. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, and welcome to our final webinar today. We are going to talk about digital Hygge. Now, you're going to hear this word a lot, and I'm hopefully not going to butcher it. I do have an official video of what it sounds like, but again, it's going to be an interesting word to pronounce. So today I'm going to talk to you about what Hygge actually is very briefly. I'm going to briefly mention some ergonomic tools, which doesn't seem to fit in with the digital part of this, but it does. We're going to talk about some aesthetics, and then we're going to cover some healthy online habits. All right, so what is Hygge? So it is pronounced Hygge or Hygge. I'm actually going to, and bear with me, I'm going to be sharing some videos with you from YouTube. So I'm going to share a video with you right now about the correct pronunciation of this word. I'm going to make this full screen so you can get the full effect.
Trisha, the audio is not going through.
Oh, nope. Okay. How about now?
Sadly not.
No? Okay.
If you stop sharing and reshare, there's a checkbox where you click share sound.
Missed that. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Hygge. Let's rewind. Okay. Let's try that again.
Have you ever seen this word and thought, how do I even pronounce that? So I'm going to help you with that today because I'm from Denmark.
Hopefully you can hear that
I'm going to teach you how to say this. Okay, so the way you say it is hygge. Hygge. Yep. It's not hygge or hygge, it's hygge. And so the easiest way to say this word is to say hygge. Hygge. But then instead of smiling, you just pull your lips together like this and you say hygge. 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 And then to say the last part of the word, the g, you just say g, hygge. Okay, now you can say hygge. So now you just have to put on your nice socks and grab a board game and your family, your friends, and then you're ready to hygge.
All right, so hopefully you're able to hear that. So the pronunciation is hygge or hygge, right? And this word is a Danish and Norwegian word that describes a state of being, comfortable, cozy, and content. So you've probably seen this word, especially around this time of year when it starts to get colder and darker earlier in the day. But of course, coziness is subjective, right? So for some people, it could mean cuddling with a warm blanket, with your cat or your dog on your lap and a cup of tea or coffee nearby. For others, it could be as simple as spending quality time with friends or family. Hygge tends to be a buzzword sometimes, and it might be associated with interior design or comfy socks or your physical space, but it's entirely possible to create Hygge in your digital life as well. So digital Hygge is also nice to consider during the time of the semester where things may start to feel a little chaotic. So let's discuss how to create a cozy, comfortable, and peaceful online experience. So I know I just mentioned that Hygge isn't always about your physical space, but in order to create a comfortable digital space, you might want to start with some ergonomic tools, which are designed for comfort, to reduce strain, and also to create efficiency while you're using your devices. So this can be especially important if you are seeking some Hygge vibes while working on schoolwork or doing some research online. So whether you're in your office, at work or at home, there are a few tools you could use to keep comfortable, including things like adjustable desks. So think standing desks that move up and down. There are also adjustable chairs with appropriate back and neck support. So as you are working on your devices, you're sitting in something that's comfortable and is supporting your spine as you're working. There are tools like alternative mouse or mice. And then there are specialty keyboards that are designed to prevent things like carpal tunnel. So they're shaped in such a way that you are comfortable as you're actually working. And of course, aesthetics is a huge part of Hygge, right? So a big part of creating cozy, comfortable feel is how things look and their aesthetics. So that includes qualities like lighting and sound. So here are some things you can do to achieve Hygge while online. The first thing you can do is to set up dark mode on devices. And the reason to do this would be to reduce eye strain and to create a cozy feel. I'm actually going to show you, there's one way to do this with your Chrome browser. If you're someone who uses Chrome, you could literally just go to your settings option and then click on appearance on the left-hand side. There is a mode here, right? And you can switch between light and dark mode, right? And that changes your screen from light mode to dark mode, which is pretty cool. I will say that I'm often spending most of my digital time in dark mode. It's easier on the eyes, at least for me, and it's helpful for working with a screen for hours at a time. One of the other things you can do is to lower brightness, the brightness on your screen during the day. And then at night, there is something called night light setting, which you can use in the evening. So lower lights ease the strain on your eyes, and nightlight displays specifically display a warmer color than our screen's normal blue light, and that can keep you awake at night. So it's helpful to use nightlight in the evenings. You can lower the brightness setting on your phone or on your computer for use during the day, and then you can set an automatic schedule for the nightlight setting so that it will turn on in the evening to help prepare your body for rest. Right. So next up is some more aesthetics. YouTube backgrounds. I use this pretty often to create a cozy setting while I'm working online. So YouTube backgrounds from live stream channels are another great option to set ambiance as you're working on a laptop or a desktop computer, especially if you have something like a double screen setup. So you're working on one screen and then maybe you have a really comfy, cozy YouTube background on the other screen. They can range from a static image with some music playing in the background, usually comfortable music like lo-fi or jazz. But they're also sometimes a more dynamic image with movement, like a simulated snowy scene or a view from a window in Europe. There is a very iconic YouTube background called Lo-Fi Girl. It's from a channel. A character in an endless loop studying or relaxing to lo-fi hip-hop music. Lo-fi music is known to be calming and relaxing, and so there are tons of playlists of lo-fi music, both on YouTube and some other streaming apps. And I have, again, a quick video of that to give you an experience of what this looks like. I'm going to make my screen large. I'm just going to play a few seconds of this, but as you can see, there's a whole background here, and there's a cat on the window. And what's really cool about this is that there's movement. The longer you watch, the more that you see the loop happening, but you're essentially watching someone as she studies and kind of gets into a vibe here. And there's, of course, some comfortable calming music in the background. Right, and I have a few other examples for you. There's also, appropriate for today's snowy day here in DC, a really cool, comfortable, snowy scene. We've got our fireplace going, we've got some low lighting, some ambient lighting, some warm lights happening with the candles on the screen, which is really cool. And again, you can have this running in the background as you're working on something on another screen or on your phone, or maybe you're just doing something around the house, right? But this can be a really cool way to set the scene of comfort and peacefulness as you're doing something in the space. And of course, again, there's usually comfortable, peaceful music running in the background. Another example. And then I have one more example. I will admit I just got back from Costa Rica, and so I am missing the tropical vibes. So you can choose any number of scenes. That's the best part of this. It's free. And any scene you can think of is possibly in existence with comfortable music. So this is a tropical holiday scene. You can see some slight movement in the background, the simulation of water, of waves crashing across the sand, and of course a gentle breeze in the palm trees up ahead. There's even a bird flying by in the sky there if you look closely enough. So perfect opportunity to take a break, slow down a little bit, and just soak in the ambiance. Okay, all right, and going back to my presentation here, you can also listen to music separately. So of course, YouTube has a ton of different kinds of music and playlists, pre-made playlists. You can create your own playlist on YouTube. But you could also use any other of your favorite music platforms. Many of them have web player options in addition to apps. So for instance, Spotify, you can use, which is something that I use, you can use that directly online. There's also Apple Music. I have a cool website I discovered called radiogarden.com. If you're interested in music just in general on your device, and I'm going to briefly show you what that looks like. And again, I just got back from Costa Rica, so I am intrigued. But really the goal here is you can spin the globe and you can just drop it on any spot, any green spot.
Gusto también poder nosotros pertenecer a tan importante empresa como lo es Radio La Jefa Occidente, a Grupo Fuentes, un saludo.
Use online as well. Okay. All right, and then of course you must consider some healthy habits as part of your curating a peaceful online space. And so one big part of creating a peaceful online life, I think, is to keep it organized when you possibly can. So you can use platforms like Trello, which is a visual task manager to keep up with some of the tasks that you need to do, whether it's for schoolwork or homework or any research work that you may be doing. You could also use something like Zotero, which helps you keep your research resources organized, right? So clutter can sometimes be a little bit stressful and chaotic. And if you're able to organize your online life, that might help create a more useful and peaceful online space. You should also be taking scheduled breaks using something like the Pomodoro method, which you may have heard about before, which is where you set up a timer and work for about 25 minutes at a time, which is called a Pomodoro, and then take a 5-minute break after each 25-minute interval. After about 4 25-minute intervals, you can take a longer break, so anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. But this is a really useful way to help you focus, but also to make sure that you're taking breaks, you're getting up, you're moving around, and then coming back to whatever work you're doing online on your devices. I personally think the best way to use social media is to curate your algorithm, or to actively train your feed to see the kinds of posts that are meaningful or interesting to you, and more importantly, to weed out the rest of the posts that are not interesting, that may be harmful or stressful. I right now have a Instagram feed that is primarily of cat videos, which typical librarian, I guess, right? But I spend a lot of time making sure that the feed that I'm looking at, my Instagram feed, my social media feeds, are things that make me happy, that bring me joy. And so the way that you would do that is to essentially make sure you're following the right kinds of accounts, right? Choosing accounts that are useful, interesting, you learn something from them, that are appealing in some way, and avoiding the accounts that are not. You can also engage intentionally with those accounts by liking or commenting, so that the algorithm is actually learning what you're interested in and will ultimately provide you with additional accounts and posts that are similar. It is also important to note that you are free to mute and unfollow or even block accounts that do not align with your interests. And again, this is all part of that process of teaching your algorithm what you like and what you don't like. Even something as small as pausing for an extra few minutes on a video that is interesting or intriguing to you, and bypassing videos that are not interesting or intriguing to you. All of those micro movements and things that you're doing on, particularly on social media, are being captured. And so that way you are curating and training your feed to be aware of the things that you are interested in or that are appealing to you, and to avoid the things that are not. You should also be paying close attention to things like your privacy settings. You can always select not interested if you go into some of the posts that you're seeing, particularly on Instagram. You can select not interested, or you can even hide posts that you don't like, and that further helps you curate your algorithm. I also think it's important to be a good digital citizen. And so what do I mean by that? It means to be the kind of person online that you would be in person. That ultimately also means trying not to do any harm. And something I've had to teach myself is to avoid the comments as much as possible. It can be appealing to see a post, see an intriguing post, and maybe I don't know, somewhat problematic post, and want to see what other people have to say about that post, but that can lead you down all kinds of ways. So it's important to not engage too fully with the comments that might be upsetting or that might create any stress for you online. I also think it's helpful to use technology for creativity and inspiration. So instead of doom scrolling, you can use apps like Canva to create something fun or interesting. Or you could even use an app like Pinterest for inspiration or to learn something new, like a recipe, or get some inspiration for decor. There's always images and videos of decorating Christmas trees, or other holiday things that are online. So I think Pinterest is a really helpful, useful, fun app that you can use to immerse yourself in something visual and aesthetic. And then finally, I think probably the most obvious step here is trying to limit your screen time. You can either use built-in phone or tablet settings like digital well-being, which is for Android phones, or if you have an Apple phone, you can use screen time. There are also third-party apps that you can use to limit your access to distracting apps, and you can set them for specific times of the day. You can set them for specific apps that you're trying to avoid during the day if you're hoping to focus a bit more on work, or if you're just spending a lot more time on your phone than you'd like. There are ways to limit your access to those apps for entire spans of hours or an entire day, or for much longer if you want to. So you can use these apps to schedule downtime or to focus on a task. I think sometimes the best way to create healthy and peaceful online habits is to just not spend as much time online and be able to find that balance between your online time and your offline time. All right. And with that, I will end it here and ask if there are any questions.
Thank you.
And thank you all for indulging my space. Yes.
As we wait to see if any questions come in, I want to say that was delightful and perfect. And I love having the break with the videos. I think I might need to pull up some of those as I work this afternoon.
Absolutely. I can share some links. I have a ton more. I had to limit it. So
Right. I'm not seeing any questions come in, and we do always give time for questions to be asked unrecorded. So again, Trisha, thank you for this. This session was recorded, and everyone who registered will receive a link to it in about an hour. So we can get into those cozy digital habits before the holiday craziness.
absolutely.
Thank you again. And the library will return next semester with a whole new roster of webinars, and you can always access those on the UDC Library website at udc.libguides.com. Thank you for joining us today, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.